I wanted to say a few things about some of the thematic material in this last movement. As I had previously mentioned, Beethoven is so clever in the way that he takes one theme and develops it through a whole work. Not always exactly the same, just elements of it, or rhythmic elements, or harmonic. And in this case, we can see similarities, although they're not so clear. But the initial theme is a little bit like in the same way that it's a theme that starts at an upper note and goes down gently. Interestingly enough, though, what I had mentioned is that first theme in the first movement was a long note, and then short notes, long note. Also, I mentioned in the second movement, long note, short note. And in this movement, instead of that long note and the short notes, he has something that he uses very often, and that's just a repeated note, which instead of long, he does repeat. Yet it's the same note, and he does that throughout this movement. The B section, instead of long, he does two notes. In the next developed section of the B, there's again long note, short note, but the rhythm with the second note decorated. In the tormented C section, there was this theme. Did you hear the very beginning? And when I play it, again, those two notes. Who knows what Beethoven is implying, but I wouldn't be surprised if he decided, instead of using the long note, short note technique, I'm going to use the same note twice, so it's a little bit of a variation. Another thing I wanted to mention was the interesting transitions. Because the A section always comes back, there's always a transition back to the A. So the first time it comes back, it's this. Chromatic scale that slides back into the A section. Now, after that tormented C section, there's a very interesting element that he used in the first movement and the second movement, and that was that repeated note trill that in the first movement sounded like this. Right before the recapitulation. In the second movement, it was this. And in this last movement, before the A section comes back, just a trill that starts slowly and slowly speeds up. Then the A section comes back, again the B with its developments, and the transition is slightly different to the A section the last time it comes. Just Beethoven putting little elements that are different, always to keep the listener awake and interested. Those are just a few of the many, many interesting thematic elements that if one digs deeper, one can find even more similarity. But touching upon a few points, I'm sure helps to appreciate the work as a whole.